First Contact and Ultimatum. The quantum anomaly appeared on Dr. Sarah Chen's monitors at 3:47 a.m. on a quiet Tuesday morning. At first, she thought it was an equipment malfunction. The quantum field harmonics she'd been monitoring for the past 5 years had never shown such precise, repeating patterns. But as she cross-referenced the data across multiple systems, her hands began to shake. This was no malfunction. This was a message. In the quantum research facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Sarah's discovery would soon shake the foundations of human civilization. The patterns weren't random. They were deliberately encoded quantum signals penetrating space-time itself. As she began the decryption process, she didn't yet realize she was about to become the first human to read an alien message. The signal's source revealed itself 12 hours later. A massive vessel emerging from what appeared to be a tear in space itself, positioning itself in high Earth orbit. The ship's arrival triggered every early warning system on the planet, but it made no aggressive moves. Instead, it broadcast its message on all frequencies, in perfect English. People of Earth, we are the Elysian Empire, masters of quantum reality manipulation and rulers of 12,000 star systems. Your civilization has reached a crucial junction. We have detected your primitive attempts at quantum field manipulation. Such technology belongs only to the Empire. You have 2 standard rotations of your planet to submit to our authority and become a protectorate of the Empire, or face immediate extinction. Resistance is futile. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Choose wisely. In the chaos that followed, world leaders scrambled to respond. Military forces went on high alert, but everyone knew Earth's most advanced weapons would be useless against a civilization capable of manipulating quantum reality itself. As emergency sessions convened at the UN, Sarah Chen noticed something odd about the quantum signature of the Elysian ship. "The harmonics are wrong," she muttered, running another analysis. The ship's quantum field signature showed microscopic fluctuations that shouldn't exist in a supposedly advanced civilization's technology. Either the Elysians didn't notice these fluctuations, or they didn't consider them important. But to Sarah, they represented something extraordinary, a fundamental flaw in their understanding of quantum mechanics. Within hours, Sarah was pulled into a secure facility beneath the Pentagon, joining a hastily assembled team of Earth's brightest minds. Among them was Dr. James Kumar, whose work on quantum entanglement had laid the groundwork for Earth's fledgling quantum communication network. Their entire technology base relies on quantum field manipulation, Sarah explained to the assembled scientists and military leaders. But they're brute forcing it, using massive amounts of energy to maintain stable fields. We've been working with limited resources, which forced us to develop more elegant solutions. Their technology is more advanced, but our understanding might actually be deeper. General Helena Martinez, the newly appointed commander of Earth's Unified Defense Force, leaned forward. "Can we use this against them?" Sarah nodded slowly. "Their quantum fields have harmonic vulnerabilities. With the right frequency manipulation, we might be able to disrupt their entire technology base, but we'll need time and resources, everything we can get." "You have them," Martins replied, "but we got less than 48 hours before they expect an answer." As the first day of the ultimatum drew to a close, humanity began the greatest cooperative effort in its history. Research facilities worldwide redirected all resources to understanding and countering Elysian technology. Military forces coordinated global defense strategies. And in orbit, the Elysian ship waited, its crew confident in their absolute superiority. They didn't realize that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology, but its ability to innovate under pressure. In labs across the planet, scientists worked through the night, building on Sarah's discovery. Every minute brought new insights, new possibilities. In the quantum research lab, Sarah and her team made breakthrough after breakthrough, understanding more about quantum mechanics in hours than they had in years. The pressure of extinction had focused humanity's collective genius like never before. As the second day dawned, Earth had a plan. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about showing the Elysian Empire that humanity wouldn't bow to threats, no matter how technologically advanced their adversary might be. The question wasn't whether Earth would fight back, but how. And in the depths of the quantum research facility, Sarah Chen was about to provide that answer. The hidden advantage. Commander Maya Rodriguez stood at the viewport of the hastily retrofitted space station Sierra, watching the massive Elysian vessel hover in Earth's orbit like a sword of Damocles. The station, originally designed as a civilian research platform, had been transformed into humanity's first line of defense in less than 36 hours. It was a testament to human determination and ingenuity, but Maya couldn't help wondering if it would be enough. "Commander, Dr. Chen is ready for the briefing," her aide announced, breaking her contemplation. In the station's main conference room, Sarah Chen stood before a holographic display of the Elysian ship's quantum signature. The room was packed with military leaders and scientists from 24 nations, all united by the imminent threat to their existence. "We've confirmed our initial findings," Sarah began, her voice steadied despite her exhaustion. "The Elysians use brute force quantum manipulation, requiring enormous energy expenditure. Their technology is like using a sledgehammer where a scalpel would do. More importantly, we've discovered why they demanded our submission specifically because of our quantum research." She gestured, and the hologram shifted to show comparative wave patterns. "They're afraid, not of what we are, but of what we might become. Our approach to quantum mechanics is fundamentally different from theirs. While they force quantum states to conform to their will, we've learned to work with quantum uncertainty to guide rather than control it. In certain applications, our method is actually more efficient." General Martinez leaned forward. "How does this help us fight them?" "Because their brute force approach has left them with a critical vulnerability," Sarah explained. "Their quantum fields are rigid, inflexible. If we can introduce the right kind of quantum uncertainty into their systems, their entire technological base could collapse like a house of cards." Commander Rodriguez studied the data scrolling across her tablet. "You're talking about a quantum virus." "Exactly," Sarah nodded. "But to deliver it, we'll need to get close. Very close." The next 12 hours were a blur of preparation. While Sarah and her team refined their quantum weapon, Maya Rodriguez assembled an elite team for what might be the most important covert operation in human history. They would need to infiltrate the Elysian vessel and plant quantum disruptors at key points throughout the ship. The team trained in a hastily constructed mock-up of what they believed the Elysian ship's interior might look like, based on scans and analysis. Their advantage was surprise. The Elysians' arrogance meant they likely hadn't considered the possibility of a primitive species mounting such an audacious attack. Meanwhile, in labs across the globe, scientists worked to implement Sarah's insights into defensive systems. If they could generate quantum uncertainty fields around key military and civilian installations, they might be able to protect themselves from the Elysians' weapons. As the deadline approached, humanity prepared for what would either be its finest hour or its last stand. The Elysian ship maintained its position, its crew presumably confident in their absolute superiority. They had no way of knowing that their greatest weakness was that very confidence. 23 hours into the ultimatum, Sarah made a final breakthrough. She burst into the command center, her eyes bright with excitement despite her exhaustion. "We've done it. We found a way to use their own quantum fields against them. When they try to use their weapons, the feedback will cascade through their systems. But implementing the solution would require perfect timing and coordination. Everything would have to work flawlessly. The infiltration team, the defensive systems, and the quantum countermeasures. There would be no second chances." As Commander Rodriguez prepared her team for their mission, she received an unexpected visit from Sarah. The scientist handed her a small device, hardly larger than a coin. "This is our ace in the hole," she explained. "If you can plant this in their central quantum core, it will force their systems to face quantum uncertainty on a massive scale. Their technology is built on the assumption that they can control quantum states absolutely. This will show them how wrong they are. Maya studied the device. What happens if it works? Their systems will be forced to confront true quantum uncertainty. Their weapons, their shields, their very method of faster-than-light travel, everything will be affected. They'll be forced to adapt or fail. And from what we've seen of their rigid approach to technology, adaptation isn't their strong suit. The commander carefully secured the device. In less than an hour, she and her team would attempt something unprecedented, infiltrating an alien vessel to exploit a vulnerability in the laws of physics itself. The fate of humanity would rest on their success. As Maya made her final preparations, she reflected on the irony of the situation. The Elysians had come to Earth expecting to find primitive beings barely worth their notice. Instead, they had awakened a species that had learned to turn its very limitations into advantages. They were about to learn a harsh lesson about the danger of underestimating humanity. Operation Quantum Strike. The infiltration craft was barely larger than a cargo container, its hull covered in experimental quantum-absorbing materials developed in the last 48 hours. Commander Maya Rodriguez and her 5-person team crowded inside, checking their gear one final time. Each wore a prototype suit designed to mask their quantum signatures, making them virtually invisible to Elysian sensors. Remember, Maya's voice was steady over the team's secure comm channel. We only get one shot at this. Dr. Chen's calculations give us a 20-minute window before their systems detect the quantum anomalies we're generating. Time your charges accordingly. The craft detached from Sierra Station, its revolutionary propulsion system creating zero quantum disturbance as it moved through space. As they approached the massive Elysian vessel, Maya couldn't help but marvel at its size. The alien ship was nearly 3 kilometers long, its hull decorated with what appeared to be artistic representations of quantum field patterns. Approaching entry point Alpha, Lieutenant Kurapatil reported from the pilot's seat. Quantum signature matching successful. They're reading us as part of their own hull structure. The infiltration craft attached itself to the Elysian vessel like a remora on a shark. Using tools developed by Sarah's team, they cut through the hull at a molecular level, creating an entrance that would seal itself behind them. One by one, the team slipped inside. The interior of the Elysian ship was both alien and eerily familiar. Corridors curved in ways that seemed to follow quantum probability patterns, and the lighting seemed to exist in a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously bright and dim until observed directly. "Split up," Maya ordered. "You all have your targets. Plant the disruptors and get back to the extraction point in 15 minutes. Radio silence, unless absolutely necessary." As her team disappeared into different sections of the ship, Maya headed for the central quantum core. The small device Sarah had given her felt heavy in her pocket, the culmination of humanity's desperate race against time. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Sarah Chen and her team monitored the operation from their quantum research facility. The scientists' fingers flew over holographic displays, tracking the minute quantum disturbances that indicated the team's progress. "They've made it inside," she reported to General Martinez. "The Elysians haven't detected anything yet. Their quantum sensors are still focused outward, looking for large-scale threats. They'd never expected anyone to get this close." Aboard the Elysian vessel, Maya moved through the corridors like a ghost. The quantum masking suit worked perfectly. Elysian crew members walked past her without a second glance, their eyes sliding over her as if she were part of the background radiation. She reached the quantum core chamber ahead of schedule. The massive room pulsed with energy, quantum fields swirling invisible patterns around a central pillar of pure light. Maya's quantum sensors indicated that this was indeed the heart of the Elysian ship's technology, and their greatest vulnerability. As she approached the core, an alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Maya's heart raced, but the alarm wasn't for her. On a nearby display, she saw the reason. The Elysians had detected unusual quantum activity from Earth's surface. "Primitive species," a voice echoed through the ship's communication system. "Your attempt at resistance has been detected. Your deadline is hereby terminated. Prepare for." The message cut off abruptly as Maya planted Sarah's device directly onto the quantum core. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The swirling quantum fields began to fluctuate wildly, their perfectly ordered patterns dissolving into chaos. All teams, extract now. Maya ordered, breaking radio silence. Phase 1 complete. Throughout the ship, her team members acknowledged as they completed their own missions, placing quantum disruptors at key points in the vessel's systems. Each device amplified the effect of the central core disruptor, creating a cascading wave of quantum uncertainty throughout the ship. The Elysians' response was immediate but confused. Alarms blared in conflicting patterns as their systems began to fail. Their quantum technology, based on absolute control and certainty, couldn't handle the introduction of true quantum uncertainty. Maya ran through the increasingly chaotic corridors, dodging panicking Elysian crew members who could suddenly see her as her quantum masking suit fluctuated. The ship's artificial gravity began to fail in patches, creating zones of zero that she had to navigate around. "This is Control." Sarah's voice came through Maya's comm. "The quantum cascade is working better than we anticipated. Their entire command and control structure is collapsing. Get out of there now." The team converged on their extraction point, arriving just as the ship's internal quantum fields began to collapse completely. They dove through the molecular seal into their craft, which immediately detached from the hull. As they pulled away, Maya watched through the viewport as the mighty Elysian vessel began to lose coherence. Its quantum-based systems were failing catastrophically, but in a controlled way that Sarah's team had designed. Devastating enough to render the ship helpless, but not so complete as to cause its destruction. Phase 1 successful, Maya reported as their craft raced back to Sierra Station. "You were right, Dr. Chen. They never saw it coming." But even as humanity celebrated its first victory, Maya knew this was just the beginning. They had proven that the Elysian Empire could be hurt, could be fought. But an empire spanning 12,000 star systems wouldn't take this humiliation lying down. The real war was about to begin. Empire's hubris. The news of humanity's successful strike against an imperial vessel spread through the Elysian Empire like a quantum cascade. In the imperial palace on Elysia Prime, Emperor Vaxthor raged as he received the report. The Great Hall's quantum architecture rippled with his anger, its patterns reflecting his turbulent emotions. "Impossible," he thundered, his crystalline crown pulsing with dangerous energy. "A primitive species cannot have defeated our most advanced warship. There must be another explanation." High Commander Zillara stood firm before her emperor, her silver eyes steady. "The humans have done what we thought impossible, my emperor. They'd weaponized quantum uncertainty itself. Our preliminary analysis suggests their approach to quantum mechanics is fundamentally different from ours." "Different?" Vaxthor's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "Are you suggesting that primitives who barely understand quantum theory have developed something we missed in 10,000 years of advancement?" "Not missed, my emperor." Zillara chose her words carefully. "They approached it from a completely different direction. Our mastery of quantum mechanics comes from forcing reality to bend to our will. They've learned to work with quantum uncertainty rather than against it." Back on Earth, humanity was preparing for the Empire's inevitable response. The quantum disruption technology that had proven so effective against a single ship was being rapidly adapted for planetary defense. Dr. Sarah Chen hadn't slept in days, working to expand on their breakthrough. "The Elysians will adapt," she explained to the United Earth Defense Council. "They're not stupid, just set in their ways. We need to stay ahead of them." Her holographic presentation showed new configurations of quantum fields, defenses that would protect Earth from the expected retaliation. Commander Maya Rodriguez, newly promoted after the successful mission, led the expansion of Earth's quantum-adapted space fleet. The first wave of ships, hastily retrofitted with the new technology, was already taking position in the outer solar system. The Empire's response came 3 days later. A fleet of 30 warships emerged from quantum space at the edge of the solar system. But humanity was ready. The quantum detection network that Sarah had helped design picked up their arrival instantly. Their quantum signatures are different, Sarah noted, studying the readings. They've modified their systems to be more resistant to uncertainty, but they're still using the same basic approach, trying to force quantum mechanics to behave the way they wanted to. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. The Imperial fleet, confident in their superior numbers and technology, advanced in perfect formation toward Earth. They expected their modified quantum shields to protect them from the humans' tricks. They were wrong. Earth's defenders had anticipated the Elysians' adaptations. The new defense systems didn't try to disrupt their quantum fields. Instead, they introduced carefully calculated uncertainties into the space between ships. The Imperial formation began to break apart as quantum probability turned against them, their precisely calculated movements becoming unreliable. Maya led the counterattack, commanding a fleet of smaller, more agile vessels that seemed to flicker in and out of quantum probability. The Elysian ships, mighty as they were, couldn't lock onto targets that existed in a state of quantum uncertainty. In the Imperial fleet's command ship, Admiral Kex watched in growing horror as his carefully planned assault fell apart. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Their technology is inferior. Their understanding is primitive." A junior science officer spoke up, her voice trembling. "Sir, we've analyzed their attack pattern. They're not just using quantum uncertainty, they're embracing it. Each of their ships exists in multiple probable states simultaneously. Our targeting systems can't predict where they'll be because they're everywhere and nowhere at once." The battle turned into a rout. The Imperial fleet, unable to cope with humanity's quantum probability tactics, was forced to retreat. Half their ships had been disabled, their quantum systems crashed by exposure to controlled uncertainty fields. But in the aftermath of victory, Sarah Chen felt no triumph. She knew this was just the beginning. "They'll be back," she told Maya as they watched the Imperial ships limp away. "And next time, they'll bring something worse." She was right. On Elysia Prime, Emperor Vaxthor had moved beyond rage to cold, calculating fury. If these humans wish to play with quantum uncertainty, he declared to his war council, then we shall show them true chaos. Prepare the quantum cascade devices, all of them. High Commander Zilara felt a chill at these words. The quantum cascade devices were planet killers, forbidden by Imperial law. Their use would change this from a simple punitive action into a war of extinction. As she left the council chamber, Zilara made a decision that would change the course of history. She encoded a quantum message and sent it through channels that would reach Earth. The humans had proven themselves worthy adversaries. They deserved to know what was coming. The message reached Sarah Chen's lab just as she was developing the next generation of quantum defense systems. As she decoded it, her face grew pale. "Get me Commander Rodriguez and General Martinez," she said to her aide. "The Elysians are about to break their own rules, and if we're going to survive what's coming, we're going to have to break some laws of physics." Paradigm shift. The quantum cascade devices arrived in Sol system without warning. 300 Imperial warships emerged from quantum space, each carrying enough firepower to shatter a planet's quantum field cohesion. Their arrival created such a massive disturbance that every quantum sensor on Earth overloaded simultaneously. In the chaos of those first few minutes, Sarah Chen made a discovery that would change everything. As she analyzed the quantum signatures of the Imperial fleet, she noticed something extraordinary in the data from High Commander Zalara's warning message. "They're lying to themselves," she whispered, then louder, "They're lying to themselves." Commander Maya Rodriguez, overseeing the deployment of Earth's defensive fleet, turned to her. "What do you mean?" "The Elysians' entire civilization is built on a lie," Sarah explained, her fingers flying over holographic displays. "They think they've mastered quantum mechanics, but they're actually fighting against it. Every piece of their technology is designed to force quantum states to behave according to classical physics. They're trying to make an uncertain universe certain." General Martinez frowned. How does this help us? Because fighting uncertainty takes enormous energy, Sarah said. The quantum cascade devices work by overwhelming a planet's natural quantum field with absolute certainty, basically forcing every quantum particle into a single, determined state. But what if we did the opposite? What if we embraced uncertainty on a planetary scale? The plan that followed was either brilliant or insane, possibly both simultaneously, as Sarah joked. While the Imperial fleet approached, humanity prepared for its greatest gamble. Every quantum device on Earth was reprogrammed according to Sarah's calculations. The Elysian fleet entered weapon range just as the preparations were completed. Emperor Vaxthor himself commanded the assault, his flagship leading the formation. "Let them witness true power," he commanded. "Fire the cascade devices." 300 quantum cascade devices activated simultaneously, sending waves of quantum certainty rushing toward Earth. The effect should have been catastrophic. Every quantum field on the planet collapsing into absolute, determined states, destroying all complex matter in the process. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Earth's quantum defense grid activated, not fighting against the cascade, but amplifying its effects in careful, controlled ways. The planet's entire quantum field became a massive uncertainty engine, creating a feedback loop that sent the cascade's energy flowing back toward the Imperial fleet. On the flagship's bridge, Emperor Vaxthor watched in disbelief as his fleet's quantum systems began to fail. Impossible. The energy readings are beyond anything we've ever encountered. High Commander Zilara, standing at his side, finally understood. They're not fighting the cascade, my Emperor. They're surfing it. The quantum feedback loop grew stronger, spreading through the Imperial fleet like a virus. Ships began to lose quantum cohesion as their certainty-based systems encountered levels of uncertainty they were never designed to handle. But instead of destroying them, the uncertainty was changing them. Sarah Chen watched the readings with growing excitement. It's working. The quantum cascade isn't destroying their ships. It's forcing their technology to evolve, to adapt to uncertainty rather than fight against it. The transformation swept through the Imperial fleet like a wave of quantum revolution. Systems that had been designed to impose certainty began to work with probability instead. Ships that had been rigid and unchanging became fluid and adaptable. And then something even more remarkable happened. Deep within the Imperial flagship, the quantum transformation reached Emperor Vaxthor's crystalline crown, the symbol and source of Imperial authority. As uncertainty flowed through its ancient quantum matrices, 10,000 years of enforced quantum certainty began to unravel. The Emperor gasped as new understanding flooded his consciousness. He saw, for the first time, the true nature of quantum reality, not as something to be conquered and controlled, but as a dance of probability and possibility to be joined. The quantum cascade devices, designed to destroy through certainty, instead became instruments of change. The feedback loop reached from Earth to every corner of the Empire through the quantum communication network, carrying with it humanity's greatest lesson: that true mastery comes not from controlling nature, but from working in harmony with it. In the aftermath, as Imperial ships hung in space alongside Earth's defenders, their quantum systems forever changed. Emperor Vaxthor requested a meeting with Earth's leaders. Commander Rodriguez and Dr. Chen represented humanity in this historic moment. "We came to teach you our mastery of quantum mechanics," Vaxthor said, his voice humble. "Instead, you have taught us that we never truly understood it at all. The Empire has stood for 10,000 years, believing that power came from imposing our will upon reality. You have shown us a better way." The peace treaty that followed was unprecedented in Imperial history. Earth was recognized not as a subject world, but as an equal partner. The quantum technology that had evolved from the Cascade event spread throughout human and Elysian space, creating a new era of cooperation and discovery. Sarah Chen went on to lead a joint human-Elysian research initiative, exploring the possibilities of uncertainty-based quantum technology. Commander Rodriguez became Earth's first ambassador to the transformed Empire. helping to forge new bonds between the civilizations. And in the great quantum probability space that connected all things, humanity's lesson continued to spread. That true strength lies not in forcing the universe to obey, but in learning to dance with its inherent uncertainty. The age of rigid certainty was over. The age of infinite possibility had begun.